Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Road to Pro. Just got back from vacation, and I think a great topic for today will be how to pick holes when shooting. It's a little complicated, but when you break it down into some real basics and think about it in 3 different ways, it's going to make things a little bit easier. There's 3 different types of ways of picking holes. The first and foremost way is shooting at the hole, where there's an opening. The second is shooting at a man, assuming that he's going to be moving out of the way. The third is anticipating a hole, where you think a hole is about to be. With those 3 options, it really simplifies the way that you think about shooting at a defense. I have a whole bunch of matches that I've recorded, and a couple clips here and there, that I think will really help you guys better understand the way to pick holes. I'm going to go through a bunch of my matches where I've been shooting and tell you what I was looking at and why. Let's jump into these matches so I can explain it to you.
So I specifically picked this match. This is where I'm playing Don and Gerard to get back to, I believe, finals. And I picked this one. This is game 3 where I played them. It is 1-1. And I really feel like this is a match that I was shooting well, and I can explain a couple different options that of picking holes. This is also a pretty fast match, so don't look away too much, or you're not going to know what happened. That was a perfect example of a rush pass. We've gone over that a bunch of times, but just kind of calling myself out there. Pat played absolutely fantastic in this match as well. He just started passing to me like a monster, and I just caught a whole bunch of passes, which was really nice. And we'll talk at some point about teamwork and passing and all that kind of stuff. I have a pretty good read on Gerard, who's the goalie in this, and how I like to shoot on him. But in this specific match, you're going to see some interesting things. And I do think I'm going to slow-mo a couple sections here so you guys can get a pretty good idea. Lucky catch on my behalf. I've gotten into my stance. I roll the ball over. And you can see him bobbing off the straight. Let's slow-mo right here so you can see what I'm looking at. Gerard's bobbing, leaving a straight right from the get-go. Bob, bob. And watch. I'm anticipating the movement here. This is one of those times that I'm anticipating a straight opposed to just waiting for it. Let's jump straight back into the match. Good steal. Back into the setup. I misexecute, but as the ball's rolling over, I see an opening, hit the shot. Not the best example of picking a hole, but due to reactions, I had really no choice. I didn't want the ball to roll away, and got the opportunity. A lot of this kind of back and forth Don and I have on the 5-bar is kind of standard. Him and I play really tough 5-bars against each other. All right, into stance, roll the ball over. And right here, this is another good example. Pay close attention. I always get into stance before I roll the ball over, so that I'm always a threat, even while I'm rolling the ball over. Gerard switches into a reverse. Because he switched into that reverse, and I saw the post, I know I can go deep, and I know that I can shoot around that. I have a dead bar stroke, but he's not going to stay out there the whole time. So just because I see that and know that the hole is there, I'm shooting at the hole opposed to anticipating it like my first shot. Only because of that adjustment. Another great pass by Patrick here. Already in stance, rolling the ball over. Let's slow-mo this. As I roll the ball over, watch how his defense changed from the last couple times that I've shot. He's now a lot more active, moving around a lot, and look at this bob in the middle that he keeps giving me. I'm kind of waiting for this. Yep, right there. The reason I'm waiting for that, it's kind of a pot shot, but when you're up like I was, 3-0, you get the opportunity to make that gamble. Now, I felt like, I'd already shot straight. I've already shot long. It's time to make an adjustment. Rolling the ball over, already in stance, and again, another risk I take, but let's take a quick glance at this defense. Now, I've slowed this one down even more, because it's a little bit more complex. I'm going to take a risk. Look at the dead bar. He shows it, he bobs off, and I do pretty much what's considered a rolling long. I'm up 4-0. I've got the opportunity to take a risk, and he's been bobbing on that long in every single one of the shots I've taken. Because of that, the risk that I took at shooting at the guys, opposed to just kind of shooting at the holes there, was worth the risk to me. Especially when you're up 4-0, it gives you a little bit of better opportunity to get a feel on how they're going to be playing defense. So for that shot, I really felt like it was a good time to just kind of rip it along fast as you can and make that gamble and hope that the best happens. Sometimes a gamble works out, sometimes it doesn't. You shouldn't do it all the time, but when you're in a position up 3-0 or 4-0, that's pretty much a great time to use it.
As I'm editing this, I want to give a big shout out to Mark Torres, who kind of explained these to me at one time and even said them on a stream once for these 3 different ways to shoot. Good friend of mine, he's actually also one of my training partners for getting ready for my first tournament back in quite some time, which is going to be Illinois State this year. It's in my backyard, so it should be my first one back. He actually is the one that said that these are the 3 things that you shoot at, and it's really the best way of simplifying it. It's something that I've always kind of done already, but explaining it and doing it are 2 different things. So big shout out to Mark. These 3 options are the ways to look at shooting. You want to either shoot at a hole, shoot at the man, or anticipate a hole. When you're shooting, those are really the only 3 things to think about at their very basic options. It's not all that always complex. When you know and you see certain things open up, it gives you other things as well. If you see a reverse where they're posting dead bar, and you know you can go around it, it's kind of a free point, especially if you can execute it at a high percentage. Now, if not, there's other holes open. There's always going to be at least 1 hole open on the table, often 2, depending on your shot. So, when watching a defense, make sure you're either shooting at a hole, shooting at a guy, or anticipating a hole to open up. A lot of times when I shoot a straight, I'm actually anticipating for the hole to open up, and sometimes I'll just shoot into their guys. It's intentional as well sometimes. A straight, for me, shooting a pull shot, you can often get that back. You hit it hard enough, the ball's going to roll back to you. What that does is it tightens up their defense, makes them move in a little bit closer, get more worried about that straight, so it opens up my long or a middle later. Just some stuff to think about. I hope this video helped you guys out, because when this was first explained to me ever so long ago, it made the most sense. Starting on Thursday, I'm going to be doing a mini-series called Sweat the Small Stuff. It's going to be where I go over just little things on the table, and when you combine them all together, they actually add up to be a lot. Extra points, extra 5-bar possessions, maybe a caught pass. All sorts of tiny things that'll actually help your game level up as a group. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this episode of Road to Pro, click over here to subscribe, or if you want to watch my last episode of Road to Pro, click over here. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Happy foosing.